Today we're going to talk about how to negotiate properly and get exactly what you want when you're in a deal or a big stake transaction. So my name is Michael Barayev. I was able to build a team of 150 plus sales guys. We did that with zero money invested. We did that in less than 2.5 years. And now we have a solar company that's growing like crazy, coast to coast like butter on toast. And you already know the way we did that was through negotiation. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to teach you guys how to negotiate effectively and properly so that you're not the one that seems like you're not getting what you want, okay? Now, understand this. When it comes to negotiations, it's not about getting what you want and that's it. It's not about like, I got to win in this conversation. Because that's not the way you really win in conversations and negotiations or even persuasion, right? You win by having a win-win mentality, okay? Like win-win mentality is what it takes to have a proper, healthy negotiation and process. If you're only thinking about your win and you're not thinking about their win, that is not the way you do it. You have to have a win-win mentality. And the way you do that is by implementing a few things. Number one, you have to figure out what is the other person's DBM. What is their dominant buying motive? What is important to them? What is going to make them say, dude, I want this transaction. I want this to happen. When you find out what's important to them, that is when you can start negotiating. Because if you start negotiating from just your angle alone, you're never going to get what you want. And I learned this a long time ago from one of my old mentors. He told me, Michael, if you help enough people get what they want, by default, you'll get what you want. And I was like, wow, that's so powerful. Like, if I help everyone in my team get what they want, by default, I'll get what I want. And that's the way you got to look at it. If I help the other party get what they want in the transaction and they want in the negotiation, by default, I'm going to be taken care of. And by the way, if I figure out what's their DBM, what's their dominant buying motive, and I know exactly what it is, and I help them get it, I'm almost guaranteed to get what I want. But you got to look at it from that angle, because a lot of people go into negotiations thinking, oh, I just want to get what I want, and they go pressure tactics and stalling and wasting time, and that's not how you negotiate. Remember, I give you guys an example. We have a solar company, right? And let's say I'm doing business with my third-party installation company. I want my installation partner to make money. If they're making money, then that means they're going to pay attention to my projects. If they're not making enough money on my projects, they're not going to pay attention to my business. So it's very important that when I negotiate with them properly, I want them to make money. It's not about nickel and diming things. It's about making sure my installation partner is making money. If they're making money, believe me, they'll take care of my deals. If they're not going to make shit on my deals, guess what happens? They don't focus on my deals, and now I lose at the end of the day. So it's always about having that win-win mentality, because if you focus on winning, right, just your winning, it's just not going to work out for you. You may win some battles, but at the end of the day, you're not going to win everything. So understand that win-win situation is the way you need to go into every conversation and figuring out their dominant buying motive. Next, forget about yourself, right? Forget about what you want. Focus on, okay, what they want, and then think about, okay, why do they want it? Why is it important to them? What would happen if you get what you want, but they don't get what they want? Like, think about all the scenarios. Try to forget about yourself. A lot of times in negotiations, we're thinking about what we need, what we want, how it needs to get done, my speed, my this, my that, my, me, I. You need to change that philosophy and think about, what can I do for them? What is important to them? What motivates them? What inspires them? What do they benefit from this? And understanding them completely from a different perspective. And now you're able to negotiate in a very strategic way, because now you got them. You got them by the balls. You got them by what they want in a positive way. And a lot of people make that mistake. They only think about themselves, or they don't think about the other party. But when you think about them, now they're going to think about you. Because people always have this reciprocity kind of mindset. If you take care of them, they're going to feel obligated to take care of you. And that's the way it's supposed to be. All right? Next, listen empathetically. When you're in negotiations and having conversations, don't just try to ram off all the things that are important to you, right? Don't just start talking to them about what you guys do and this is what I've done. Listen empathetically. Ask them questions. Figure out, hey, just curious, why is this deal important to you? Why do you guys want to sell this building? Why do you guys want to sell this car? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do that? And listen and pay attention. Like, what are they telling you? Why are they selling it in the first place? Why are they trying to get rid of their property in the first place? Like, just start thinking and listening, and I guarantee you, when you pay attention to them, they'll give you a lot of juice. They'll give you a lot of data, a lot of key points on telling you, okay, I want you to close me this way. Because everyone has a closing point. Everyone can be bought out. You need to figure out what that is. And if you can listen empathetically and understand the situation, you'll get a lot done in less time, and both of you will win. Okay, next. When you negotiate, right, try to ask for more than what you really want. For example, let's say you want to sell a car. Let's say you'll take $8,000 for it. Don't say, hey, I'll sell it for $8,000. Because what happens is, when you tell them you want $8,000 in their minds, especially with negotiation, a lot of times people want a wiggle room and they want to get a deal. So if you start off at $10,000 and you work your way down to $9,000 or $8,000, you'll still get what you want. Now, I'm not saying you need to go crazy high, play this high, to play the high game to low game. No. What I'm saying is that psychologically, when you tell them you want 10 and they settle at 8, they think that they won. And you want the other party to feel like they're always winning in the negotiations, right? You always want to make sure that the party always feels this. You want to make sure they feel this. 51-49. Okay, you want to be winning 49% and they be winning 51%. Let them feel like they got the upper hand, because when they feel like they got the upper hand, they'll make the deal happen. And by the way, that 2% ain't going to make a big difference anyway, right? But in their mind, it does. And it's going to push things along faster. They'll be more incentivized to get the job done, to get the negotiations done, to get the contract signed, because they feel like they have more of a leverage. And you have to give them that power. You have to give them that feeling. Make them feel like they got the leverage and the power. So when you tell someone, hey, I'm going to sell it for $10,000, and you settle at 8, they think that they got it for 51%. When in reality, you got what you wanted as well. So just having that win-win mentality and learning how to start high and going a little bit lower, a strategy that makes you understand that, hey, I want you to win. I want to win as well, but you're more important. When you make that kind of a statement in negotiations, people will respect you and love you forever. Next, never be desperate. Be willing to walk away. If you go into a negotiation being desperate, you're already lost. Because now you need a deal more than they do. Never, ever, write this down, never, ever, ever want something more than the other party. If they want it more than you, the job will get done and it will be in your favor. If you do it because you need to get it done and you're desperate, you lost your leveraging power. So every time I go into negotiation, I always want to make sure that if I'm in a negotiation, I have the leverage. Not to take advantage of the other party, but to make sure they don't take advantage of me. Because if they try to take advantage of me, I can say, you know what, guys, no thank you, I'm out. Right? Because when you make decisions out of desperation, you make bad decisions. It happened to me many times before. I made a decision. I will not negotiate unless I have options. I will not negotiate unless I have more control. I want to make any negotiations unless I'm not 100%, I'm not desperate. I don't want to start looking, for example, like right now we're looking for a recruiter. We don't need a second recruiter. But guess what? I'm looking for her now so that when we do need her, we got her. Because I don't want to make a decision on desperation. I don't want to make a decision on hiring someone because I'm just desperate for that individual. Very important. Next, always ask for the close. A lot of times people say, oh, let time pass by. Time kills deals. Remember that. Time kills deals. The faster you get things started, the faster you get things done, the faster everyone can win-win. The slower the process, the more you let time, because people think that more time will make the other party desperate to make a decision. And that's wrong. There is a time and place for that, but most of the time, you don't want to let time drag around. You want to close the deal. Ask for the close as many times as possible, because if you don't ask for the close, somebody else will. And if somebody else will, they're going to get the deal and you're going to lose out. So always ask for the close as many times as possible, and there's no such thing as asking too much. Believe me, the deal is worth it, and it's fair, and it's a win-win, they're going to do it. You just got to nudge them a little bit to make that decision. And the last thing is be reasonable. Be reasonable in your conversations. Don't be a stickler. Don't be like, oh, I want to sell it for $9,000, that's it. No, be fluid, be flexible, be reasonable. Understand that you're dealing with another human being. And remember, they need to win. And if they feel like they're winning, that 51%, 49% mentality, if they feel like they're at the 51% and they're winning, believe me, the deal will get done. But you got to be flexible. You got to be fluid. Sometimes what you expect it to happen is not going to happen. And you got to lower that ego and just make a decision and say, you know what? I'd rather it be a win-win than no one getting any wins, and that's a lose-lose, right? So be flexible, be fluid, and I promise you have a lot of negotiations that will go in your favor. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, drop a comment. If you want some new videos, let me know. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.